to work on a very common problem theme, or we'll call this theme night, okay? There's a big problem with people getting flattened out when you're playing half guard, okay? And if you don't understand this basic principle and you haven't worked this a lot, it might seem kind of alien to you until somebody actually sits down and explains it. What we're talking about specifically is we're playing half guard bottom, or whether it's knee shield or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be knee shield. It can be, you know, leg outside, doubled over. We got to understand a couple things here. Standard outside, or what we call outside Ashi is a lock outside triangle for half guard, or we're running the knee shield, or we're running V guard. Whatever the variant that we're running, they're all half guard variants. We have to understand the importance of this hand, okay? Now, what I see a lot with new to even, I guess I'd say beginner level grapplers, is they have a tendency to allow their opponent to get into this area and fill this space here. What I mean by filling this space is chest to chest in any capacity. Man, I see this so much. And the hand is over the back, okay? Hand ends up going to the back, and they're pushing like this to try to clear space. Now, we're gonna cover this here in just a minute, how we get this hand back and how we get back into a recovery position here, but we spent all week long talking about framing out, okay? Good half guard basics and foundation, but we are missing the mark when it comes to understanding just how important this frame is and how we're supposed to use this, okay? So tonight we're gonna do some practical drills of this after I explain it. We're gonna focus on not letting our opponent have this collar grip. That's gonna be huge, okay? And understanding that this arm cannot elevate such so that he's allowed to get belly to belly with me and to start to try to flatten out that high side arm, okay? Once you understand how to keep this in between you and him, your defensive game and guard playing, recomposition, all that stuff is gonna go through the roof overnight, once you understand the importance of this. You also have to understand how this works in conjunction with the knee, okay? Even if they collapse the knee down, if my elbow stays underneath his chin, he's not going to flatten me out. The second that he gets below this elbow with his head, this is where he starts to flatten me out. Or if he's able to get this underhook here and start working high enough to extend this elbow above my head, he flattens me out. And this is where we have all the problems. We're generally pretty good as long as we can stay right here, okay? So, how do we work this? Well, when it comes to the knee orientation, the knee and the elbow kind of have to act together. What I mean by that is if we're running the knee shield and I've got this cross collar grip, at any particular point in time, if he tries to get his head underneath my elbow, or if I get over here and I make the mistake of pushing right here, where is his head able to go down? It's right down the middle. So we need to understand that this arm, the position of this arm, is hyper important when it comes to maintaining my half guard. I see a lot of times guys will push, they bail on this crossbody hand to forearm to elbow frame to come over here and put their hand on this shoulder, which really does no good if I'm on my side. Now, if I'm flat on my back, I can start posting off of the shoulders, okay? Here we have not only the hand contact to push away, but if he causes my elbow to cave in, then my forearm goes down, okay? So now we have even more contact on him, and I can frame away, you know, right here as well. We have to be very, 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 very cognizant of when my hand is no longer between he and I. If his head at any point starts to duck underneath that arm, I got to come back up underneath here and keep my hand underneath his chin. Okay, I have to maintain the low point here. I need him high above my hand at all times. So the next question becomes, okay, well, how does that work with the knee? So the higher that he rolls up on me, if he starts trying to really push his weight into me and he gets up on his feet and he starts coming up, my knee is going to kind of come up here to my elbow. So I bail on kind of my standard knee shield, and now he can put all of his weight on me and probably be relatively comfortable because I'm just framing him out. I'm holding him up between my hand, my elbow, my knee, okay? If he were to back off of this right now and you wanted to see what it looked like, this is what it looked like. My knee was joined to my elbow, okay? At any point in time, if he's able to get underneath this and get my elbow above my head, he has won. So, what we're gonna work on here is we're gonna work on a little bit of, that's what we call it, kind of mock passing sequences. He's gonna throw some different positions at me, some different looks at me, and I'm gonna try to go back and forth between maintaining my crossbody frame here, all right, thumb down. I can hit my bailout here in just a minute. I'll show you how we're gonna put it all together where you can sit up, use your foot brake and all that. Right now, we're just gonna lock into the knee shield position. He's able to do whatever he wants right here, okay? And his whole goal is to try to get chest to chest with me. That's his entire goal. He wants to get chest to chest. I have to prevent that, all right? He can kind of do whatever he wants here. And I'm only allowed to use my knee shield, all right? I can come high with my knee shield. If at any point in time he gets me like this, where he comes up underneath here and gets me high, and he pins me down, he has won the battle right there. We start over, just hit up, touch up, boom. Here in just a minute, we're gonna start right here. I get my collar grip, and I'm gonna say go. And he's gonna try to get his body between my elbow inside to where he can kind of crush down on me. Notice he came inside, I pulled my hand back out, put it right back up underneath his elbow. I'm sticking my elbow to my side so he can't have an underhook. I'm staying up underneath him. He tried to get an underhook there, he couldn't get it. My elbow's super tight, he can't come underneath my hand. That frame is back inside, I fight right back inside. If he can't beat this, he cannot proceed to the next level. He has to beat this. Notice several times we were here, he tried to come outside and up underneath my elbow. As soon as he did that, he brings that hand up underneath my elbow, I came back and I pushed right back up underneath his. Why? Because if he comes under here and he gets up underneath and ends up getting into a cross collar, now he can start getting in high and he can start pushing me up and he can start getting into this nasty position here. So I'm constantly being mindful that my recovery from my elbow is come back to here and get back inside my own knee, okay? Here in just a second, we'll cover the only technique that we're gonna cover out of this actual position. It's gonna be clearing the hand out with the elbow and the knee. Just gonna work this as a drill a little bit. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. False position where you get your arm crossed over and you got an elbow pinned above your head, either outside or in. So what we're specifically looking at is left side. So if I take it too far this way and I open up, it comes heavy up here, elbow's stuck up. Okay, now they're working downstairs. Or if I go too far that side, now it's stuck up this direction. And they're trying to lock up under my head and they're just trying to get heavy and pass to the mount wherever they're trying to go to. Next thing you know, this is where I'm stuck, okay? And it all started with a loss of my frame right here. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you lose your knee shield in conjunction with your frame, that's where you're gonna have some problems. When you get stuck with just your frame, it's gonna be really hard to hold on to that. So understand, in order for you to be successful, this knee has to ride. That's your ride or die right there, your knee to elbow connection. If you lose that, that's where everything starts to get opened up, okay? That's where we get opened up. So on this next one, we have to understand. So let's say you lose your knee shield because they're moving around a whole lot, right? Now you're just with this frame right here, okay? We have to put that foot down. We have to scoot. We have to get that knee back across and back up, and we got to get back to that knee to elbow. So once that starts to get lost, knee's got to come back inside, got to get back up to your elbow connection, okay?
I don't know if this is a wrong answer, but what I was doing is I had my foot on the ground and I was using that to drive my elbow. And, you know what I'm saying?
Driving forward?
Foot on the ground to
driving
use
into
power with the forearm.
Yes, you can. That's fine.
That's good.
That's not a problem. Okay, the other way we can actually get our knee back into it, let's say we're outside like this, all right? The other way we can actually get our knee back into it is a pretty simple way. So we feel like this is starting to come up. She's pressuring in. I can go high, boom. Arm comes up. I can scoot back, get up to my elbow. Now I get my knee shield back in. Now I can start to work here. Okay? So we've got the ability to get in there. Also, my arm gets stuck up this way and it's across my head. Let's look at this. So my arm is stuck up in this position here. Okay? She's trying to flatten out. I'm going to reach all the way across. My foot went down. So I go from here, where she's pinning, okay? I'm going to drive forward up onto my ear and my head, reach across. Now I'm going to pull my elbow back down the middle, okay? Now I'm going to reset my knee shield, and I'm bringing back inside. So when my elbow gets stuck up here to my head, and they're heavy, 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 like this, the easiest way is to bridge and reach across and pull back to get it back. And then notice that bridge allows me to bring my what in? Knee shield. Okay? So here, I want you guys to take a few reps of this. They're going to flatten you out, hand to head. Okay? We got the half guard on. We're going to grapevine, put my foot down, bridge and reach. Arm's going to come underneath, reestablish, get inside. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. So I'll show you this, just me sitting here, nobody, just static, no resistance. I would be right here, okay? My elbow kind of gets glued up to my head right here. I still have my right hand available. What I'm going to do is I'm locked up in half. Kind of, this knee is staged, ready to come to my elbow. So I'm going to grapevine with the right foot. I'm going to put my foot right down behind his knee, okay? I'm going to roll forward, bringing my right elbow up underneath me. Right elbow comes underneath me. Here. Now I'm going to reach. Okay, now I'm going to bring this down this way, where he cannot defend. Bring it down this way, and what meets the elbow? Knee. Right? So my recovery, heavy, heavy, my arm is pinned above my head, flat on my back. Okay? Scooting out just a little. Push. Elbow comes underneath me, I reach. Now watch. Push. Okay? Same movement that I just did. Bringing it across. Boom. We reframe everything back up, get my knee shield back in, then I can go with my foot brake, and I can start working my way up. Cool? You don't hold the collar when you're doing this. You've already lost that, right? You don't have your frame out, we're reestablishing it. So imagine this, we're working on frame from the waist up. Insert deep, bring it to the chin. Here we go, 1, 2, 3.